Okay, folks. So what we're looking at today, you actually have a pretty fun activity to do today, and you're going to do this sort of in two groups. So I'm just going to explain the activity first. Half of you will do the tongue twisters, while the other half of you are playing a little bit of makeshift basketball. And what we're going to do with that is by playing doing these activities, it's going to create some data for us. So I wanted to make sure you understood how this worked, and then I'll let you guys jump into the activities. The first one is called our tongue twister. So the tongue twisters are basically phrases that are difficult to say. And what you're going to do is you're going to work in groups of three or four, and you're going to record each other's time and the amount of seconds, the number of words that are in the tongue twister, and the number of seconds it takes. So let's just say that my friend Bob is doing this first one, and let's say that our first tongue twister has about 11 words in it, and you'll see the tongue twisters are going to be provided for you. So you'll see how many words are in each one. And then let's just say that it took him 8 seconds to say. Okay. So that creates a data point for us. That creates an XY coordinate where we take the 11 as our X and the 8 as our Y, that we can actually graph that coordinate. Okay. So you would do that for Bob a couple more times because there's a couple more tongue twisters. You would then do that for your friend Kiara. You would then do that for your friend Jason, whoever is in your group. You would do a couple of them for each person. So eventually you want to have maybe um, 7, 8, 9 different points that you're graphing. Okay. So you would get a whole bunch more points here. So I'm just going to create some more. Let's say that we had 20 words in one, and that took us 15 seconds. Let's say that we had 15 words in another, and that took us 11 seconds. Let's say that we had 30 words in the last one, and that took us 20 seconds. Okay. So once you have your points, what you're going to want to do from there is you're going to then go to your graph, and you're going to want to graph these points on your tongue twister graph. Now you want to be careful on how you do this because the number of words should always is your X, so that should go along the bottom. Okay. So the number of words, all right, is along the bottom because that's your X value. And then the time that it took you to say the tongue twister, goes along the left hand side, or Y value. So I'm not going to bother doing this, but let's just say that I think we had anywhere from 5 to 30 words. So I'm just going to very quickly graph some of these here and see if we can sort of make sense of it. So in this case, my first point was 11:08, then 20:15. So if I were to go from, let's just go really easy, 10, 20, and 30. Should probably space them out a bit more than that just because we have more room. But for the sake of our example, I'm just going to go with that. And then we took about, let's go here, put our seconds along the left hand side. And our smallest seconds was 8, and our biggest was 20. So I'm going to go up here by 5. So 5, 10, 15, and 20. So 11 words in 8 seconds. That point would be just roughly, we're going to guess. So this is about 11. 8 seconds would be somewhere out here. It does not have to be perfect. These are points that we're kind of just estimating where they are. The next one was 2015. I'm going to go over 20 up to 15 right here. So that's 2015. My next point was 1511. So come back to 15, somewhere here in the middle, go up to about 11. And then the last point, excuse me, my last point was 3020. So 30 and up to 20 right about here. Okay. So obviously you want more than 4 points, but even with the 4 points that we've created, you can see that there's definitely a pattern. And that's what we're kind of looking at today, is what is that pattern? So I'm going to quickly explain the next activity too. It's almost exactly the same, except this time you're shooting little, whether they be cotton balls, little blocks, whatever item we have for you, you're kind of shooting those into a little bowl as you would a basketball. So let's just say we have Javier is shooting and he was, you're going to be in different distances away. So let's say Javier was one step away. And how many did he make? He made all four of them when he was one step away. So our point would be 1 comma 4. But then let's say that he moved back and now he's 3 steps away. And this time you only made one of them. Okay, so now his point is 3 comma 1. So you get the idea. You're going to keep going, graph all of Javier's, graph all of everyone on your groups. So everyone needs to put their data as well as their partners and group data in the table as well. And in the exact same form as we did last time, you're then going to graph these. So here's a good example of a graph that's already been done for us. And you can see the orange dots are the different data points that we have. We have 4 feet away. If we're right here and we're 4 feet away from 4 steps away, this person made 0 shots. This person made 1 shot when they were 4 steps away. You want to graph your data, and then hopefully you'll see that there is this kind of pattern that you see. You can see that black line that I've drawn is a bit of a pattern. So take a minute to do that activity and graph your points, and then we're going to check back in with each other to kind of discuss what it is we're actually discovering as we do our tongue twisters and as we shoot the little basketballs. So just a quick recap. You're doing this in groups. Half of you will be doing tongue twisters, half of you will be doing the basketball. You'll be recording your data as well as your group's data. You'll then switch and activities, and then half of you will be doing the basketball. If you were doing the tongue twisters, you'll switch to basketball, and vice versa. So work hard, have fun with it together, and then graph that data. The most important piece is to get that data graphed so you can look at how it looks. All right, best of luck. If you have any questions, you let me know.